Okay, there are, again, based on your suggestion, there are some queries on Keppel DC REITs. I think the particular person that asked about it, he or she has some concern. It seems like, the Keppel DC, the price keep coming down. So what is happening? If I have the stock, would I still hold on? So I believe that is his or her concern. So this is how I'm going to do this part. So if let's say, for example, I have Keppel DC REIT today in my portfolio. Okay, what should I do with it given that the price sort of like, hey, keep coming down? Okay, so this is how I will analyze. So again, trying to focus on the thought process because a lot of people always ask me, hey, this stock not doing well, sell or don't sell? Okay, should I sell or don't sell? So again, hopefully I give you some reference, some framework in helping you decide whether if let's say you have something, should you sell or not sell? Okay, now, so what is some of the issue that Keppel DC REIT is actually facing? If you have been following this REIT, this was almost 2 years ago. Basically, they are not very lucky. They have tenants who keep defaulting, don't want to pay their rent. So DXC Technology Service face legal action over alleged payment default. So this guy is actually basically not paying their rent. And something quite recent, okay, the tenants from China data center, their Chinese data center is also not paying their rents. Okay, it's also not paying their rent. And what is happening is, of course, it's reflected in the stock price since July 2020. Okay, as you can see, it went up to $3. Then after that, pump, all the way down to today is 172. Things are not too rosy for Keppel DC. So I think that person's worry is, hey, is it time to cut loss or no, is it time to buy more? Okay, I'll share my opinion very soon. So same thing, I'll just look at the 3 steps, the business, the financial statement, the pricing. Now, indeed, you can see that from the business part, it's actually affected quite a bit. When I actually look at for REITs, I actually focus a lot on this thing called net property income. Okay, this shows the overall rental. So before minusing away, the management fee, the finance cost, so on and so forth, as you can see here. So indeed, you can see that the net property income has came down. Okay, with all these default, blah, 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 so on and so forth. The NPI has actually came down. There is, in fact, as you can see, from a full year perspective, a drop of 3%. And for the second half, actually dropped by 9%. That is actually quite significant, in terms of DPU, the full year DPU actually dropped by 8%. So that is actually quite significant. So all this, of course, this one is not just because of that, the 2 defaults. The 2 defaults definitely have some impact. Then plus at this period, there is an increase in interest rate. Okay, as you can see here, can you see, financial costs, there is a increase in interest rate. Can you see? So it's like double whammy for Keppel DC. Number one, they have tenants who defaulted. Number two, their interest rate go up. So yes, it's bad. It's not good for Keppel DC. Okay, in terms of the dividend payout, you can see that it dropped. So 2023 is definitely not a good year. And this got nothing to do with COVID already. So in fact, during the COVID year, you can see it actually went up quite nicely. Only 2023 it start to drop. So yep, the increase in interest rates, the default is bring a toll on Keppel DC. So yes, things are not good. So the question is, should I cut loss? If I hold Keppel DC, what would I do? Okay, by the way, I do hold Keppel DC. Yeah. So of course, number one, I look at some of the resolutions. Okay, by the way, you have to understand. So having default is not uncommon as part and parcel. Correct, right? You go and rent out. Okay, there will always be, like for example, banks. You lend money, there will always be bad debt. You cannot run away from that. Okay, there's no such thing as, wow, no, all your customers are perfect. All your customers are always pay on time. So things like that do happen. It's not uncommon. Okay, it's not like only Keppel DC have people who have what they call that, people who default on the rental. So other REITs also have now and then also have tenants who defaulted. Okay. So in fact, if you see here, this is from the latest report. There are some resolutions. Okay, like for example, with DXC, they actually reach a commercial amicable solution. DXC has agreed to pay Keppel DC 13.3 million. So by the way, they are only agreed. Whether they eventually pay or not, we don't know yet. So this is only agreed to pay. So we don't know whether they can pay or not. And for the China data center, they seems to have some positive resolution. Okay, you can see here they're working with tenants on the recovery roadmap. So at least it's still amiable. It's not that the tenant just run away. I still can talk. Okay. So basically, my point here is this doesn't mean that, got default, this is a bad REIT. No. Okay, number one, most of the properties, okay, be it REIT or not REIT, okay, it's very common to have tenant that default. Okay. Number two, as you can see here, usually default doesn't mean end of the day, end of the story, no. So sometimes you go to court and you still can claw some money back, as you can actually see here. Okay. So my point here is this, it's not uncommon to have a default. So the question is it a one-off issue or is it a management issue? So if you believe that, okay, basically Keppel DC, they are not doing a good job in selecting their tenant, or somehow they are not capable in they are not capable in, they don't have a good due diligence process. This is the reason why they keep having tenants at default. Okay, then that's a management issue. So of course, if it's a management issue, I will cut already. Okay. Or is it that they're just plain unlucky? They done everything they could, but somehow people change, somehow company change, or somehow certain situation just hit them bad luck. Or is it one off? Okay. Again, this question is hard to answer. I personally will give Keppel DC the benefit of the doubt. I believe it's a one-off issue. Okay. I don't think it's rampant enough to actually conclude that it's a management issue. Okay, so again, I am half guessing. So unfortunately, I don't get to go and review what is their process in selecting their tenants. But I would like to give, at least at this juncture, I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I believe it's one-off. Okay. Yes, the KDC exposure, if you actually look at the numbers, is quite small. I mean, what I did is I look at the overall. Basically, okay, if you want, you can actually look at here. Okay, so this one is already hit already. Okay, sorry, if you actually want to have the full impact, it's actually hit. This one already reflected already. So we are looking at about 9%. 8-9% like that. Okay, hope I answer your question. For the KDC one, for the Guangzhou one. If you ask me, actually quite significant, not small. Actually, it's not small. Okay, but what I'm actually more concerned is actually this one. Drop by 8%. If you ask me, also quite significant. Okay. But my point here is this is how I think. Number one, I will want to give that benefit of doubt. I believe it's one off. Okay. So number two, I'm on longer term lah. Okay. I want to look at things from a longer term perspective lah. So it's not realistic to find one REIT that will never have default lah. So if you ask me, this one is still acceptable lah. Acceptable in my own personal capacity. So I will not be selling existing. So I personally do have Keppel REIT. So I declare, so whatever I say may not be independent. But based on my own judgment, okay, number one, it's not uncommon to a default. Number two, I believe it's a one-off rather than a management issue. And I'm there for long term, so I will not be selling my existing. Because I sell now, that means I take the loss already, which I'm not willing to lah. Okay. But whether I will buy more or not, will depend on whether is this the best REIT to buy today lah. So basically, when I buy, is always relative. Is this the best REIT for me to buy at this point in time? I don't buy because Keppel is good, is bad, or Keppel is cheap or expensive. No. It's always at this point in time, is this the best REIT to buy? Okay. So hopefully it's clear. So number one, the storyline goes like this. Keppel is facing some issue. Yes, the price is coming down. The dividend is coming off. So why is that so? Because they have defaults. They have tenants who defaulted. They have increase in interest rates. Okay, resulting in the net property income to come off, resulting in drop in dividends. So resulting drop in price. So the question here is this: if you actually hold Keppel DC, would you actually want to cut loss? So I've shared my opinion. My answer is no. Okay, because I think it's not uncommon to have default. I believe it's one off. From a longer term perspective, I think it's still worth to hold. I believe it'll come back. Okay, I don't want to take the loss right now, so I will not be selling. But whether you look at it the other way, hey, now the price is so low, is it a good time to buy? Okay, so to me, it's relative. I want to look at it relative to other REITs to see whether is this the best REIT to buy, which I will talk about very soon. Okay, in the next few slides. Okay, but at this juncture, if you understand my train of thought, don't mind just help me type a 8. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't mind please help me type a 9. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. And to answer your questions, I did a REIT selection, I think in the February edition. Okay, you may want to trace back the chat. You may want to trace back the chats. I actually, in February, I talked about how I actually screen up for the best REITs. Okay, in the February edition of the investment gathering. So all these videos are actually still in the chat. What you can do is you just go and search link. Then you can very quickly see all my previous posting. So if you need help, then you let me know. If not, it's in the WhatsApp chat group. Thanks. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So now, okay, next question, would I buy or not? So again, these are inputs from your friends. They actually sent me 2 articles asking me whether is this a good news or not. So number 1 article here is this. They actually sold off a property at a very good price. As you can see here, based on valuation is this price. They actually sold this price. So very good. They actually paid 70 million. They sold 174. So they make some money. So is this a good news or not? Okay. To me, this is a good news if they do not distribute the proceed. Which I think they didn't. They are not going to. If let's say they sell the property, then after that they start distributing the proceed, then I'll be worried. Because usually for REITs, right, they want to have more cash, then they keep buying new properties. So if let's say they sell property already, then after that start distributing proceeds, is it that they don't want to work anymore already? Okay. So generally speaking, this is a good news. I don't think they're going to distribute the proceed. In fact, they're actually talking about buying new properties. So this is definitely a good news for Keppel DC. They actually make some money here. Now, then after that, there is also this article. Keppel sign MOU, not Keppel DC, Keppel sign MOU with Mitsui Fudosan, which is a Japanese developer, to develop data center in Japan and Southeast Asia. There in the article actually says it is envisaged that once the data center is stabilized, it could be a pipeline property for Keppel DC. Now, okay, so the particular person that sent me this article said that, hey, is this good or bad news for Keppel DC? Okay, before I share my opinion, maybe I ask you, so this article, is this good or bad news for Keppel DC? In your opinion, no right or wrong? For Keppel DC, not for Keppel, Keppel DC. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, my answer is it depends on the pricing. Okay, I am actually quite neutral for such news. Okay, it depends on the pricing. It's definitely good news for Keppel. Now, what is Keppel doing? Keppel is actually basically finding the buyer before creating the product. You know what I mean? So now Keppel is actually very smart. It's like no matter what I develop, I already have someone who buy for me already, which is the Keppel DC lah. So even I do okay, of course they are not going to do it. Even I develop a lousy data center, okay, somebody will also buy for me. You know what I'm trying to get at? Okay, they already determine the buyer even before developing the data center. So for Keppel, it's Baojia. Okay, so for Keppel DC, I'm not too sure already. Okay, because we depend on the pricing. What if Keppel actually so expensive to Keppel DC? Okay, we don't know what is the pricing. And you know, what if, of course, unlikely, what if, let's say, Keppel did not develop a good product, but Keppel DC, no choice, still have to take it up. Okay, so I am actually quite neutral, but you know, it's definitely good news for Keppel. Yeah, this is a very smart business strategy. In fact, this is why I like CapitaLand so much, or at least when I was there, you know, able to find the buyer before you go and you know, before you actually go and develop the product. Okay, that's exactly what CapitaLand has been doing, at least the last time. You know, if they want, the developer, they build the offices, then they sell to who? They sell to Capital Commercial Trust. They already identified the buyer already. Okay. So I'll put it this way, I'm not overly excited about such news. Okay, I won't definitely really go and jump into Keppel DC because I see such news. Okay, so I'm not saying this is bad news. I'm just saying I'm neutral. Okay. So this is okay, for this part, I'm just replying to the person who asked me this question. So number one, I believe this is a good news. I believe they're not going to distribute proceeds, so this is a good news. Make some money. Yep, Keppel DC actually made some money here. This one, I'm not exactly excited. Would I actually buy more Keppel DC because of this news? No. That's my point here. Okay, any questions, comments, please ask. Okay, so back to my whether would I actually want to buy Keppel today. So same thing, after my business, I do my financial statement. So for REITs, I look at leverage less than 40% past. Okay, interest cover more than 3 pass. Now make a guess. This debt maturity profile, I like it or I don't like it. Do I like this debt maturity profile? Yes or no? Thank you so much. I don't like one particular year has more than 35%. Yeah, so if 2027 for what we have some black swan event, some economic downturn, well, then that's it really. Okay, so not exactly ideal. It's not a deal breaker lah. It's not like, or if let's say I grade leverage more than 40, interest cover less than 3, confirm I won't look at the REIT already. Okay, whereas in this case, it's just that it's not a deal breaker, but something that I try to avoid if possible. Okay. Okay, pricing analysis, same thing, same old story, same old story. What I did was this. I find the current dividend yield. Past 12 months, 9.3 cents. Current price, 172. Current dividend yield is 5.5%. Okay. And after that, I find the average dividend, my fair yield, which is the average dividend yield over the past 5 years. Average dividend yield over the past 5 years. Okay, was at 4.3%. So in this case, this REIT currently is undervalued or overvalued. Current dividend yield 5.5, fair yield 5.3. Under or overvalued? Undervalued, undervalued, okay. Undervalued. So yep, the pricing is attractive. But if you ask me, like I said, when I want to buy REITs, I look at it from overall perspective. Can I find better REITs today to buy? I think the answer is yes. Okay. So for those who want to have a sense of what are better REITs, you can refer to my past 2 sessions. Okay, like for example, if you can recall, one of my main criteria for REITs is the MPI is growing. Okay, this one. Okay, MPI is growing. Today, can I still find REITs with MPI growing? Yes, yes. You can refer to my previous 2 months. I still can find REITs with MPI growing. Okay. So I think it's okay. It's not that I think this is lousy. I don't think so. But it's just that I believe there are better REITs to buy at this point in time. Also, for those who think that, okay, I already buy the other REITs, I cannot find other thing else to buy. Is this a good price? Yeah, I think it's a good price to go in. I think it's still a good buy lah. Okay, but personally, I believe I can still find better REITs to buy at this point in time. Okay, given that there's a few things I don't really like. The MPI is dropping. This one I don't really like. This news is not very exciting for me. So I'm not particularly excited about this at this point in time. Okay. But will I sell those that I bought? No. I will keep lah. I will keep since I'm still enjoying the dividend, since I believe that the price will eventually come up, I will keep lah. Okay, I'm not a trader lah. I don't buy sell. So what I buy, I'll keep lah. Unless I really lose hope about the REIT, which I definitely have not for this particular one.